Welcome, viewers, to another week in the life of a 44-year-old man who decided to follow his dreams and is now suffering the consequences, or reaping the rewards, depending on how you look at it. I choose to say rewards. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This week, we went skateboarding. We saved or expedited the inevitable death of a pigeon, played a packed show in the Berkshires, searched Harvard for future Illuminati, visited a Boston landmark, fell asleep in a park, had the opposite of a packed show in Boston, and then wandered aimlessly and took the Amtrak home. Started off the week in New York with a little bit of writing at a cafe, how European. Then I went for a walk up the East River Park, feeling pretty smug about all the walking I'm doing considering the level of gas prices. I don't own a car. Don't think I could afford to at this point. Why is this log swinging like that? Is this good or bad? Part of the park was closed for construction, so I turned around and headed inward. I hit Tompkins Square Park. They're shooting something, but I didn't bother to look at what it was. Saw this flyer encouraging people to get offline and link up in real life. I looked into it, and it turns out it's just an ad for Dumb Phone, which is a company, and it's $35 a month to get a dumb phone to get you off your phone and meeting up in real life, which is something you could do for free. But in our world, you can't solve problems by removing things. You have to pay for a solution. I'll link to my merch below. I got a random text from a friend, comic and skateboarder, Twan Wood, who was in town for the day and wanted to go see the Brooklyn Banks. So I ran home, I grabbed my board, and we headed to the Brooklyn Banks. If you're not familiar, it's a legendary skate spot that was recently rebuilt into like a normal park. We were only there for a couple minutes. We heard a rustling in the trash can, and I thought it was a rat. So I was like, Twan, you want to see a rat? And then we looked, and it was a pigeon. He was alive and flapping, and it looked like he was trying to get out, but it also looked like he had been in there a while. And I thought, you don't want to spend your last days suffocating in a trash can. So we kind of urged him out. We figured, let's see how this goes, because I didn't know what else to do, you know? And he got out, not looking good. And then another pigeon, you know, kind of shoved him. I'm not super familiar with pigeon dynamics, but I think if he wanted to hurt him or kill him, he would have gone for the head or the neck. So we kept skating and was like, we'll check back in on this pigeon, but let's skate a little bit. Yeah. And then look, he starts walking around again. Okay, the other pigeons left him alone. There was a dog down there. The dog didn't care. The dog was worried about the ball. So we kept skating. Did some old man tricks. And then we checked on the pigeon on the way out.
It's practically flying.
He seemed to be all right. He was walking around. He was stepping a little lighter. I feel there's promise here. So hopefully he made it back to a nest. Feel free to tell me how wrong I am in the comments. We were right near the Brooklyn Bridge, and Twan had never walked across it, so we went ahead and walked across it. Thursday night, headed out for a show, and there were cop lights on my street. Always a good sign.
Hola, Negrito.
That's my neighbor, Linda. She calls my dog Negrito. Thursday show was down the street at a place called Talon Bar in Bushwick. I wanted to get a set in, knock the dust off before I head out of state. Got up nice and early to go to Port Authority. I had an 8:30 bus to Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Didn't have to wait around too long. Port Authority, I took the Peter Pan bus to Great Barrington, and it is not lost on me that I, a 44-year-old man who is avoiding most of the trappings of normal adulthood, has chosen to take the Peter Pan bus. This one was called the Elfin. A pleasant, uneventful, relatively cheap ride upstate. There was only about 10 people total on the bus. Definitely the right choice. The bus isn't always the right choice. In fact, it's most often the wrong choice, but this time it was the right choice. The bus dropped me off right downtown in Great Barrington, and I was like literally a block away from the venue. And there it is. There's my name on the marquee. Old Rip Van Winkle here decided to walk to the hotel. It wasn't that far, and the walk didn't seem like it was going to be that bad, and it wasn't. I did search for a grocery store in the area so I could stock up, and it closed the day before I got there. So no kombucha for your boy. And there it is, the Fairfield home. All right, everyone, it's time to iron. It's my pre-show ritual. I have to iron my shirt, and I'm at a hotel in Great Barrington, Mass. It's the Fairfield Inn, and we're going to see what the iron situation is like here. You never know. You never know what you're going to get at these places, okay? All right, we've got a pretty solid iron, folks. This is a Sunbeam Steammaster Professional, okay? This has a feature that I've never seen before. This thing has headlights. I'm not sure why. I don't think it's a great idea to iron in the dark, but you know, what's a good steam? Got a pretty basic blue shirt here from LL Bean. It's the most boring shirt I could find. I would have bought 3, but they were a little bit expensive. So gonna get a couple of the wrinkles out. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest, but it's been stuffed in my backpack, so I gotta smooth it out. I have to smooth it out or something terrible is going to happen. If there are wrinkles in my shirt, something bad could happen. So we're just gonna go ahead and iron it. There we go, everybody. Got it pretty much wrinkle free, and you know what that means. Everything's gonna be all right. I didn't want to walk from the hotel to the venue, but it turns out there was a free bus that shuttles you downtown, so I took that. And there's Great Barrington. It's a really nice area. You know, a lot of transplant New Yorkers, a lot of good boys having fights on the sidewalk, play fights. That's what I like to see. And here is the theater that is next door to the smaller room that I'll be performing in. I got a full-on dressing room with my name on the door. You know, plenty of space to do my warm-ups, to do my pre-show exercises. I move around a lot on stage and I don't want to hurt myself. I probably move more backstage before the show than I move on stage, but you still got to stay loose.
It's nice. It's a quaint little town. Real quiet, real nice. Feel like you guys might have a couple secrets.
It was such a fun show, and then went outside to get my name at night on the marquee, and it was already gone. So goes show business. Back to the hotel game room, which is dark. Also, maybe I'll swim in the pool. Or maybe I won't, because this looks like a shot from Dateline that they would put underneath a 911 call. I had another early bus to Boston from Pittsfield, so the booker of the show was gracious enough to pick me up. I had time to get the continental breakfast at the Fairfield. Did not disappoint. Here's the Pittsfield Greyhound station. And here's my shit chariot. This was not a very comfortable ride. I think Greyhound seats have gotten smaller. I've gotten smaller, and it was still uncomfortable. Let me know if you ride the bus, and why. Made it to South Station, and welcome to Boston. I was on a mission to see a legendary Boston landmark. No, not Cheers, the Cop Slide. It's important to remember that history is made in the present and we must keep it alive. I headed over to the Commons and just kind of wandered around, saw the sights and whatnot. I haven't been to Boston in years, and I do love Boston. Then I headed over to Cambridge, took a stroll across the Harvard campus, you know, just to see what our future overlords are up to. Posted up in the park. It was a beautiful day. The weather was perfect, which never bodes well for comedy show attendance in the evening. My friend Bill Squire from Ohio was going to be in town at the same time. This was not planned, but we were both going to do the Comedy Studio. For him. Hey. So he picked me up, and we're going to grab some lobster rolls before the show at the studio. And it was worth it. It was worth every penny. I don't regret it. That's where the old Comedy Studio was. It's moved now. So this is my first time there. It's a really cool space. I highly recommend it. I did my spot at the studio, and then I headed over to Democracy Brewing. I was supposed to be headlining Downtown Comedy Club, and the weather was so nice that everyone had a day and then decided to not have a night. And the show was canceled for attendance reasons. And you know, yeah, I'll show you my failures. It didn't matter. I zipped back over to the Comedy Studio. Bill was doing the late show, so I just hung out there and I watched a comedy show full of good comics and I ate popcorn. And we stayed at this hotel outside the city. Bill drove me back to Alewife so I could get on the train and head back into Boston. I was scheduled to take the evening Amtrak back to New York, so I had some time to kill. So I just wandered, you know, did some more wandering. Got a good 7-8 miles in. Did a lot of walking on this trip. Felt good. A lot of walking and not spending money. And Sunday was back to South Station so I could wait with the angry masses for the Amtrak. We were going to charge the gates. I forgot that it was like this. The guy next to me on the train said it's like a third world country, but it's definitely not. Just because you experience friction that you can't buy your way out of and you happen to see brown people at the same time does not make the situation like a third world country. But Amtrak should have reserved seats for all the seats. I didn't get a lot of footage out the window, though it was a gorgeous ride. I just had work to do for my day job. Welcome back to New York. There's a truck on the train tracks. What a crazy place. It's been a long trip, but you know, I get through Penn Station, I get on the train, I get out at my stop. Oh, look at that grit. Look at all that. Look at this destroyed street. I'm gonna DM Mom Donnie real quick. But at least my dog will be happy to see me, you know? That's the good thing here.
Whoa.
Super excited. Absolutely pumped to see me after 3 days out of town. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Buy a ticket to a live show. I'll see you around.